Live on WFLA Now. This is Run for Fun with running enthusiast Lee Spann.
All right, let's go. Welcome back to the Stream Center for this week's episode of Run for Fun. We did create this show to dispel the myth that running is a punishment or it's something that you just have to do. There's so much fun in it if you just know how to do it correctly and you're in the right mindset. I'm your host, meteorologist Lee Spann at WFLA in Tampa, but as an avid runner now for more than 14 years, I really love having this ability to share my love of running and share the fact that it can be fun with as many people as possible. Now, as many of you know, we were doing this 2 days before the 4th of July. And if you've listened to any of our episodes, we know that Coach Maria's favorite holiday of all is July 4th. So she is taking this week to be with her family. We're so excited for her. But also many people will be taking Thursday morning before the fireworks, before the barbecues, before the beach, to run a few miles. So joining me this week is Ryan Jordan. Now, he is the race director for the St. Pete Pier Run that's happening, the fourth 4-mile for July 4th run, right?
Easy for you to say, yeah.
Yeah. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. So tell us a little bit about what people can expect on Thursday morning at the pier.
Well, I think you hit it rightly with it. One thing we do know is it's going to be hot.
Gonna be hot.
Yep. So, and it's not a punishment. I know when I started, I was like, well, why are you doing this? And I said, well, because it's important, and the things how you feel when you get out there and you get something accomplished. So on July 4th, on the St. Pete Pier, this will be the third running on the St. Pete Pier, and we do it really as a way to kick off the holiday. And it's amazing the support we've received. We started this, now a few years back when the city asked us to put on the first big event on our beautiful St. Pete Pier. And I tell you, just getting out on the pier, if you walk it, you run it, you know how special it is. And so we were fortunate enough to be asked to put this event on, and it's just grown every year. I mean, we're going to have over 2,500 runners this year, which is almost 1,000 more than last year. And I also want to mention, yes, it is fun, running for fun, but you can walk too. Yeah. And I think it's important just to get out and move. So yeah, we're pumped. It's going to be an awesome day, and it's a great way to start the holiday weekend.
And so a little logistics with this. So there's 2 waves. So you can get if you want to go out with the sunrise, you can go out with the sunrise, or you can sleep in.
You can, yeah. And in fact, you hit it right. I mean, the sun, we have it timed 6:30. It's almost right when the sun's coming up over the pier head. And the way the course is actually organized, we set it up intentionally. So as the runners head out, because that's how the course starts. It starts and finishes on Spa Beach, right in the middle of the St. Pete Pier, and you actually head out as the sun comes up. It's beautiful. And that one, we are expecting the runners to be a little faster in that wave. And then the second wave is 7:45. So 6:30 is the first and 7:45 is the second. Both are around right now. We're expecting, if everyone gets up, right? Because I know it is July 4th. Sometimes people overdo it on the 3rd, but hopefully not. And they'll be out there bright and early on the 4th.
So why do you think that this run, and there are other July 4th races around our area that are long-standing as well, and people get up and go to these, and they dress all up, and they get into their patriotic spirit. Why do you think they do that?
Why do they think they do that? Well, that's a great question. Yeah, I mean, interestingly, the July 4th is one of the busiest or biggest running days of the year. Not necessarily in Florida. Although, there is, I think, the largest, if not one of the largest running races in Atlanta on July 4th, the Peachtree, right, which I think is like 40,000 people. And if you've been to Atlanta in July, it's hot. So I think we have an opportunity. I think it's, I think much like myself when I got into running, because I actually like to eat and drink. And so like on Thanksgiving, what do I do in the morning? I go for a run. On July 4th, what do I like to do? I like to get my workout in and then have some fun. I think that's a big part of it. I think just that community and the camaraderie, and then getting out, getting some fitness in before you potentially blow it in the afternoon.
Yeah, and it is a camaraderie. I mean, you commiserate with the people who are out there sweating before everybody else has really even woken up. So I know that you focus in on the fun, which is why we're so excited to have you on the Run for Fun podcast. But so more than just running. You guys are putting out on a somewhat of a Independence Day festival as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's wonderful because we work with the city so closely, and the city of St. Pete does such a wonderful job organizing events, and they've asked us to be part of the weekend. Although I guess it's a long weekend.
It's a 4-day weekend.
It is
yes.
a 4-day weekend. So we're part of the Pier and the city of St. Petersburg's agenda for the weekend. So we kick it off on the 3rd. We're going to be down in Spa Beach. Again, it's just an incredible setting. Even if you don't come to the race, go walk the pier, go enjoy what's going on down there because it really is special. And we're going to have live music. We've got a couple of local bands that will be performing. So Girls Rock have a couple of groups, Hex Appeal and Anarch Kitty, which are, I'll say, very local. And very fun.
Yep.
And we'll have some ice cream, churned ice cream. If you ever had that, oh my gosh. Oh, and then, yes, we will have pie eating. I believe that is the Pie Destroyer on the right.
That's my friend Laura, the Pie Destroyer. So when I first heard that she was doing the a pie eating contest, I thought it might be a timed event. I had no idea that it was without hands. So I don't know that she knew that either. Maybe she did, but she said this year she's going as Pie Destroyer 2, and
Excellent.
she knows what she has a plan.
I love it. I love it. This, yes, I think we really wanted to create something fun. Because again, running it's one of those things where I think on both sides of it, right? Where people ask, I'm sure like why do you do it? Why do you go into a race? I think there's two pieces of it. Just getting out and being active, of course. We can talk all day long about what that means. I think actually mentally as well as physically. But then when you actually get into a timed event in a race, it changes a little bit more too. Like the excitement and just the energy level, I think even goes up more. And so I know when I run a bunch of races as I'm out promoting the event, and the energy is different, and it is a lot of fun. But I think with that, we also want to celebrate and do actually have some fun when we get done. And so, yeah, we keep thinking of new ways to add entertainment on the course. So this year there'll be lots of new entertainment. So think squirt guns, think sprinklers, think misters, think lots of water and refreshments because we know it will be hot. It is going to be a good sweat for sure. And then we have some fun things planned for the finish line area too because we do want to make sure that you're rewarded and have some fun and cool off before you have your afternoon with the family. And then the pie eating contest in particular is something that we started with a couple different iterations. We first started with a thought of a hot dog eating contest, and then I get sick just thinking about it. So
it's hard to watch.
It's hard to watch, hard to think about. Anyway, so let's think positive. And so the pie eating contest was just a natural. And then, of course, our variation on that is no hands.
No hands.
And so it just does get messy. We know it's going to get messy. And this year for the pie eating contest, we survey the runners when they register to see who would be interested. We had over 70 folks that put their name in the hat. So we have 20 that will participate. And this will be 9 a.m. Right in front of the stage on Spa Beach at 9 a.m. on Thursday. And it is every year it's grown. It's just a lot of fun. Does
it surprise you? I mean, you said that this year it's 1,000 more entrants than last year, and you have so many more pie eating applicants as well. As a race director, we're going to talk about this a little bit more in a little bit, but someone who kind of is newer to race directing, what kind of appeal you get and how quickly it can grow?
I think, yeah. I mean, it really is. It's something I'm very interested in learning. We collect a lot of data in terms of how things and why things are growing. So we have our ideas, but it's always wonderful when it comes to fruition. I think, like most things, it comes down to the great team that puts it on and the great partners that we have that enable the event to be, I think, different and special. But I think like most businesses or most events, it really comes down to the partnerships and the people that put it on. And we're very fortunate to be surrounded by a city that is just so supportive. And I say not only in terms of the administration, but the partners. Right? I mean, as you mentioned, I'm fairly new now, although time flies. It's crazy to think I put on with my family, my brother, and my wife and sister-in-law, and a core group of folks that put on St. Pier Run Fest in November, and we started that 8 years ago somehow, and it's crazy how time flies. And when we started that, I was just when people ask me, how's it been, or tell us about being a race director, and I said I've been blown away by the level of support we've received by the community, both from running groups, running clubs, sponsors and partners. where this community really just got behind the event and the people in it. And it's been really wonderful to see. I think that's really been the catalyst for the growth when you start looking at not only how the city's been supportive, but go down the list of the sponsors that we've had. And they, the partners, and I look at them as partners, not sponsors, because they really put their elbow grease into making the event special. And of course, they're promoting their products and their services, but they're doing it in a way that I think adds a lot of value to the participants and thus makes the event better. And I think that's really what we've seen, because over time, the team is really focusing on providing a really quality product. And I think that the community demand is there, because there isn't, there is obviously some really wonderful July 4th races that take place around this on July 4th. But there's not quite as many. So I think that the calendar, I think, is a little bit more open. Mm-hmm. I think it's the quality of the event too, and the people that really organize that I think have been the catalyst for its growth.
And you love St. Petersburg, and you love showing that off, and you love the fact that the city has really come and supported you, and you try to show off the city. When you create these courses, you want every runner to run through and experience the city and all it has to offer in both the St. Pete Run Fest and the Pier Run as well.
Thank you for noticing
that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I think noticing that I love St. Pete's probably pretty obvious, but I do. And I was fortunate enough to move here in 2000, and the love affair with the city has just grown. And when we had the opportunity to bring St. Pete Run Fest to town, a big part of what we were trying to accomplish was showing off what makes the city so great. And I'm fortunate to live there for so long, to understand the uniqueness of the neighborhoods and the communities are what make St. Pete different, right? When you can go into the old Northeast, or you can go along the waterfront, or in the old Southeast, or down the Grand Central area, they all have their unique components which make them special. And so it makes it hard, to show it off, all of it. But, with 13 miles, you have more of an opportunity, which we do. If we ever brought a marathon, we could show off more, but not yet. But the 4 miles on the 4th, does really give us a chance to highlight the waterfront. And again, I know I've said it, and I'll say it again, that every time I get on to the pier, I get goosebumps. I think the city did such a good job of building out an asset that we can be proud of, and the fact that we're in a position to actually really show that off, we're very lucky and blessed. And I would say too, just one of the things I was thinking about on the way over today, when I started running, was I traveled a lot, and so I was in different cities all over, and so I needed to work out. I needed to do something, and the gyms and the Marriotts aren't that great. Well, sorry, Marriott, I love you,
right?
But the gyms aren't that great in the hotels, we'll call it. And so I started running, and it was amazing how much I learned and saw in the cities that I was in that I never ordinarily would, right? You usually you get in, you go to the meetings, and then you take off. Maybe you go to a couple of tourist spots, but you don't really get to see the community. And so I started running, and I just think about the memories I have from running in different cities throughout the world, and I still have those memories with me. And then now putting on St. Pete Run Fest and Pier Run, the experience and the memories you create, and what your experience and relationship with the city that you're running is different.
It certainly is.
And I think as a runner, you probably understand. That's why I think more people do it. You'd recognize that. And so anyways, we got a great, we're very fortunate to be able to do this.
So we know that the St. Pete Pier Run is obviously on July 4th. But we keep also mentioning St. Pete Run Fest, and that's in November. A little more comfortable, can be cooler, has been cooler for the race. It could be literally any temperature. But talk first about. I'll show you. So you and your brother had lived in St. Petersburg for a little while, and he also, Keith, puts on races, right?
Yeah.
And so.
Well, he put on some of the largest Ironman events in the world.
Oh well,
that's what
that's pretty big.
Yeah.
So kind of go through that conversation of why you wanted to start a race that was based in St. Petersburg and not coming in from the outside.
Yeah, for sure. This is a true story. We were out for a run, and we were talking. He was still fairly new to the city, and he asked me, he's like, why isn't there a big community inspired like Publix Gasparilla Distance Classic here in St. Pete? And well, the reason is we had a couple of really, if those have been here for a while and are in the running community, we had some really awesome races. The women's half marathon was awesome, one of my favorites. And by the way, I do have a story on that.
And they only ran once, right? I ran it once.
I
When
think they
came
ran
through-
it twice.
Okay, I ran
Yeah.
it once. I ran it the first year it was there.
My wife Paula, God bless her. She's like, "So I signed you up for a race, honey. It's the women's half marathon." I'm like, okay, great. And I thought it was like we're raising money for and I showed up.
Guess what?
I was one of like 12 guys, I think. It was. So, anyways, once I got through that, uncomfortableness,
But
it
again,
was great. It was awesome.
Yeah, and these we've had rock and roll come through,
Rock
and
and
they
roll,
come
yep.
a couple of years, and then they leave.
And they leave.
Right.
Yeah. So that's that was what we had, and so I was giving the history to my brother on the run. He said, "Let's go figure out what we can do and see if it's possible for us to bring one here." And just you can't make these things up. And he actually called the city the following day, and the next week they had a request for proposal. So the city was trying to attract a world-class running event to St. Pete as we were growing, and we put our proposal in and we won. And so it's interesting how it all worked. It was really fortuitous, and things happen for a reason. But we really, I guess, to your question, as the city of St. Pete continues to grow and mature and develop, I think it's important to have a community-inspired event that's here for the long haul, to get people out and get them active, to promote our local organizations and businesses and sponsors, and to really help us with a lot of local charity organizations. So for us, it really became, and you'll hear this, and it's never more appropriate than at Pier Run, but Good Sweat is what we kind of brand our ethos or our mission, and that's to help our community become healthier, more active. And again, yes, I put on running events, but yes, we'd love you to run them, but just get out and get active, because I think you'll see the community will feel that benefit. You'll feel that benefit. So get out and get active. So this is a way to have kind of that annual event where people can target. They get out and walk and run. And I hear so many folks that say, "I can't do that." I'm like, you can if you don't take the first step.
Right.
So take the first step, and then take the step after that, and before you know it, you'll be hitting a mile, and then it becomes a routine, and then you have to. Like, if I don't work out, if I don't run, I'm grumpy. And so I think you'll start noticing those same benefits. So that wellness piece was very important to us. The other, of course, is charity. And
So you guys also give back to the community.
We do, yeah. I mean, so for Pier Run, the St. Pete Youth Farm is our charity partner, and I can't tell you, if you haven't been down, it's a local farm that Carla Bristol is she's just the engine that's building this special. I mean, it's about food insecurity, it's about building skills, and these youth that I get to go see and what they're doing and learning. So they're learning skills, they're growing food in our community, and they're inspiring. So
where is that? Can people just go to it or send their children to it? How do they
so
get it?
St. Pete Youth Farm. I just looked it up.
Yeah.
It's down on the south side of St. Pete, not too far from where the race takes place. And we actually met Carla because one of our big pillars is sustainability. So we're an ocean-friendly event, no single-use plastics, and we didn't have a lot of. We compost everything that we can. And at the time, we didn't have a lot of options, so we were introduced to Carla because she helped us compost all of the Gatorade cups from the course. So we had like 40,000 cups of and I'm like, we want to do something good with these. And the fun part about it is we brought them down to Carla, and she planted seedlings in all of the Gatorade cups. So underneath all of the greatness that she's growing down at the youth farm is all from cups that we use on the course. So really wonderful synergy. They're a big part of Pier Run, and this year we're actually raising money to light up the farm. So they do a lot of events. Last year we raised enough money to build a outdoor stove, so they could start entertaining, cooking some of the food that they grow on the farm. And this year we're going to do LED lights to light up the farm.
And that's all coming from the people taking a few hours out of their day to run on July 4th, right?
Yeah. So not only do you feel good, but you're actually doing good. So that's back to the good sweat, right? It's a good sweat, so it's all about sustainability, wellness and giving back. And that's a big part of that is why we do it.
And then you have a different charity that benefits from the St. Pete Run Fest, which is a 2-day, 3-race event in November. So what about that? So that charity that benefits is
the St. Pete Free Clinic has been our primary, and I say this. I mean, the things they do. You gotta. It's incredible, and unfortunately, the demand for their services are at an all-time high. So the food bank, they provide free services for folks that can't don't have insurance or can't get help. They have a dental program there. And so we fell in love with their mission because there's a lot of folks in our community. It's amazing how many people in our community that you wouldn't know need their services. They may be living close to what they can in terms of income, then something happens to their car, and then they can't provide for their family. So the free clinic is that outlet or that safety valve. And again, unfortunately, they're very popular because there's a lot of folks in our community that are kind of living on the cusp. And so their mission is really important to us. It's food insecurity, it's healthcare, and then what they do. So they're our primary partner for St. Pete Run Fest in November. Yeah, incredible organization. So.
And I just wanted to show. So this is what sort of the fun that you guys have. So with all the fun, all the good sweat that we're doing on both the St. Pete Pier Run and St. Pete Run Fest, there is a lot of fun built in. And so you have a huge theme every year, and everyone kind of goes out to the theme. But these are a lot of the folks in this picture that we're showing, your team, and I wanted you to be able to shout them out because they work very hard on this.
It's such a passion project. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you. So yes, I mean, you can see them in that picture. I mean, that they are the engine of the event. They are the heart and soul of it. I get all this credit, but they're the ones that really deserve the credit. And that group right there that you're looking at, in fact, I had a couple of pictures. I think, Lee, you might have been in a few of them.
There's not really a camera I shy away from, Ryan. I don't know if you know that.
I don't know if you noticed it. We do at the end. What you're seeing in the picture is the end of Run Fest. So it's on the Sunday when the race is done. One of the things to the point of celebrating and having fun. Michelle Sear, who is our director of fun, actually built a group called Party Pacers. And I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. So we throw a big tailgate zone party right at the finish line. So big groups, organizations, want to get out and have the camaraderie of the community, with their coworkers or their run club, and they show up. Loud's out there making it a lot of fun, and it's so important. And that's got its own life. And then this past year, that you're seeing the culmination of it at the finish line, where the party pacing group ended up running in with the folks that finished last. Yeah. And these are individuals that worked so hard to run 13.1 miles. They've been training. They were nervous. They were scared. And then around the corner, right by Al Lang Stadium, we're sitting at the finish line, and all of a sudden, it was like a sea of fun, coming down the finish line, celebrating with the final finishers. And then we had a big dance party. But to me, it's just one of those things where we're very impressed, and the fastest runners in the world. It's impressive. I don't understand how people can run 4 half-minute miles. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. So I've got nothing but respect and appreciation.
But they always get cheered for.
Yeah, they always, exactly rightly. And so for us, we really wanted to celebrate everyone. And so I think it's really important to, again, you don't have to be the fastest, but it's important that you do, and you take those first steps. And I think that's another, opportunity that I think is really, I get choked up about it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Now, I said earlier that you were sort of new to this game. So, but you had you haven't been doing this all that long. So how has that transition been for you to go from more of the business world into the race world?
Yeah. I mean, well, again, thankfully I've got my family and some folks that have had a lot of experience with it, because if it was just left up to me, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. But the team is incredible and the community is great. So, but I think in terms of, so if you've ever had to put on a big event, maybe it's a wedding. Think about a wedding with 10,000 people. And it's amazing the amount of things that break that you could never expect. It's funny. I'll talk to other, folks that put on running events. And, if you haven't done it, you probably think you just, you put out the tape, you hit the gun, and, everyone shows back up. I mean, we have over 400 volunteers. The amount of moving pieces that go into putting on a large scale running event it's incredible. So I think to answer your question, I've learned so much about the little details that are really important. And I think actually more so than anything, having that really good team. Yeah. 'Cause I'm not always the best with details. They are, thankfully. And having that team surround you. But it is the first few years I did it, the amount of things that you're like, there's no way that's going to break. What? you lost the truck key. What? How did that happen? The generator for the ice cream is not working, although you just tested it yesterday. Yeah, all those things happen. And suddenly you've got a bunch of folks that we're trying to celebrate and make sure they have a great experience. So the amount of adrenaline that goes into putting on these events it's kind of like finishing a marathon. So I'm in the taper right now. I'm in
right,
the
you're
taper.
in the taper. You got it. The details are all done. Let's just hope we didn't lose the key to the beer truck because. But
that is a true story, by the way.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But the thing is, as someone who has participated in your races, you don't feel that. So what your team is doing, what you're doing, is the fun continues. I didn't know that there was supposed to be a beer truck over there, or I didn't know that there was supposed to be ice cream. Whatever it is, you guys are really good at the fun continues.
Covering it up, yeah.
Yeah. And then of course there you are with the mayor at one point from St. Petersburg. I mean, I know it's been the joy of having the city be a part of this. I mean, where you have the drag queens. I mean, St. Pete has a vibe, and
It
you
does.
show that off. Just like you were saying, running in a city, you see it differently. You see it up close. You see the potholes on the road, but you also see into people's businesses, and you see what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important. We made a really conscious decision to really highlight local businesses too. And by the way, when you're putting on an event as it grows and grows, it becomes more difficult for smaller businesses to support such volume, which we have learned. But even in doing so, I think about like the decisions on beer. I happen to like beer, and St. Pete's got one of the best craft beer scenes in the country and the world. And so, again, when I first started, I just started going back to the local businesses that I've been part of, and I really thought represented the city really well. So I went to Three Daughters, and I talked to Mike and Lee Harding, and they helped get this thing off the ground. Then I went to Nathan at Green Bench, then Grand Central Cycling, or Grand Central Brewing, I should say, and Grand Central Cycling too, but not for beer. But so it's been amazing, and they all stepped in and supported the event. So we have not only so we have incredible product that and stuff for everyone that finishes, but everyone also again gets involved and make it great. And so this year I mentioned churned ice cream. I met them at Pride. It was hot, and I was looking for something cold and refreshing, and I met Ray and Alyssa, and they're making this handcrafted ice cream, and I said, wouldn't that be cool at Pier Run, right? I mean, something refreshing. So they're making a full-fledged Sunday bar for all the finishers on Thursday. But it's local. They come up with their VW band. They've been making their ice cream for the last few weeks. That's special stuff. I mean, we got Colony Grill, who somebody argue is local. I think they're very local. They grew up in the Connecticut, but they're downtown St. Pete. And again, I fell in love with their pizza. So they were going to have. Maybe I need to run more, huh?
Well, no,
I think I might need to run more.
Well, think of what you're introducing. So I know you laugh at it, but let's say that you have 10,000 people coming into St. Petersburg that maybe live in Polk County or maybe come from all over the world, all over the country, and now they're introduced not to Domino's or Pizza Hut. They're introduced to the pizza that you love, the pizza that you walk into, know the owners and things like that. So I think that is so important to keep those small businesses, those local businesses, growing and thriving.
It helps them, and I think it makes the event different too. I think it's really important. Like the all along the course, we offer opportunities for the local businesses where the course runs through to give them opportunities to promote and be involved in the event. So that way, when you're running, it makes Run Fest. It makes running 13 miles a little bit more fun.
A little bit more fun. You're made fun of by the drag queens. It's so fun.
You might get a drink on the beer mile. You might get you might get a slice of pizza. So there's a lot of those are great pictures. Yeah. I think it really makes it special. And you made the call out. A lot of our choices too, from a business standpoint, have been intentional. And I say that, from the course where, it would be a lot more cost effective for us to stay out of Central Avenue, not run on the pier, not run through Tropicana Field, but we saw to highlight the city. I think it makes it special, and I think it does showcase our community. And as a result for Run Fest, we're going to have close to 30% of our audience from over 100 miles away. Yeah, I mean, we can't take all the credit for that because St. Pete's pretty cool, and I think a big part of that. But then we showcase it where they get to actually go and interact and see the city up close and personal. I think it helps, and every year our growth from outside of just the local community continues to grow. And I think a lot of it's for those reasons. They get to really see what makes St. Pete unique and special.
And I know that just an idea on a run with your brother has turned into this. Must just be like, you must think back. I mean, how many years ago was that?
Well, that was not, well, because the RP process took a little time.
Yeah, right.
So
I know. Yeah,
that was probably close to 10 years ago now.
But I mean, I still think this is for it to be such a standard event now. In 10 years really isn't that much time. I mean, from conception idea to it being a race that now people have a traditional race that's been going on long enough that, I mean, that's amazing.
Oh, I just hope the city's proud of it. I mean, I think that's our most important thing is we want this to be an asset that does grow over time and does create memories for kids and running with their parents, and ultimately when I'm even older, and looking out and seeing folks that have been done it for many, many years. I mean, we really have, and Susan Harmeling, which I know you know well, is who puts on Gasparilla. It's really been a template for us. I mean, Susan's been wonderful to us. A friend and helpful, and we've watched that model of really being, I think, doing it right, community inspired, highlighting what makes the community special, is really what we're trying to create. And it's proud. We are proud to see the growth. And I was mentioning to you before we started with Pier Run only a day in. Well, tomorrow it really starts. The team, like, and having such a great group of people that care so much about the event. Is really, it's really hard to describe because we all put so much work in it, and we're out at 3 a.m. and working for. It's not for the money. It's not for the money. I assure you.
It's for the fun, right? It's for the fun.
It's for the fun, and it's for hopefully the impact that we can make. Yeah.
And so let's tell people, can they still register for the Pier Run?
Pier Run is
closed out.
Is closed out.
All
Yeah,
right.
we sold it out. Yeah.
But you can go to the festival afterwards. You can watch the pie eating. You can come down to Spa Beach.
If you come down, we may be able to get a spot for you in the pie eating contest.
Okay, all right.
We do have. Yeah, please. There's lots of entertainment, lots going on, and again, what a better way to start your day on the 4th of July than come down to the St. Pete Pier. It is just a beautiful asset to the community, and there'll be a lot going on both tomorrow afternoon. Both at downtown as well as on for us in Spa Beach. We'll have live music. We're going to have lots of entertainment, lots of great food and drink, highlighting St. Pete. And then of course tomorrow, or I should say on the 4th of July. Yeah, I mean we are sold out, but come cheer folks on.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell you, the sun coming up on the pier downtown. If you haven't done it, do it because it's certainly worth it.
I always tell people if you want to have a boost of the morality around you, go cheer a race on, because when you see all those people doing something so can be so much for them, and the pride that they have, you feel a little bit better about humanity just because it's just like, okay, there's a lot of things that are happening that may not be great in my life, but when I go there, I'm like, this is where happiness is.
It is a very supportive community. Yeah. It's one of those things where, again, I get to go to a lot of races to promote the event, and have become friends with a lot of other folks that run on a regular basis and race directors, and it's really a pretty special community. I mean, I just think about all the times like where someone would stumble or fall down, and just the amount of support coming out to support them. It's really special. And I think to your point on coming out and being part of that, whether or not you're running or just supporting folks that are out doing it, there's a lot of goodness that can come from that.
So then you can still register for St. Pete Run Fest.
Yes. Yeah.
So talk about the multiple races that people can do, and this is in November. Could be a little cooler.
I hope. Yeah, we hope. So St. Pete Run Fest, it is the official running event of the city. It is the 15th through the 17th of November. We have distances for all levels. It is walkable, runnable. The courses we've talked a little bit about runs all through downtown, so you get a lot of different experiences. The registration, go to stpeterunfest.org is where you could still register for that. We are expecting around 7,000 runners, so that's going to grow quite a bit this year, which we're excited about. So there's a half marathon on Sunday, the 17th, the 10 and the 5K are on Saturday, the 16th of November. And then we have a couple of new wrinkles this year. We have a dog race. St. Pete again is very dog friendly.
Yes, it is.
So we got on the 15th of November will be the big festival, live music, all that, and we're going to have the dog race, which will be taking place that day. And then we actually also added a 2-person half marathon relay on November 17th. So if you want to get out and run with a buddy or a partner or friend or enemy, I don't know, you could do that too.
Make them run the fast part and you can slow it down. So is it exactly half? So about 6.5?
Close.
So, yeah.
It's not exactly half, and that's just logistically. We wanted to make it a little bit easier for the exchange. So it's one distance a little bit longer, but roughly half. Yeah.
Well, wonderful. All right. Well, Ryan, I know he's very busy. We've got his event starts tomorrow, so we're so happy and proud and thankful that he came all the way into Tampa from beautiful St. Petersburg.
It's not that far away.
It's not that far away. Exactly. Exactly. It's not. I go all the time, mainly to run.
Yeah.
So good luck.
Thank you.
On Thursday. Good luck with the last couple of months of planning for St. Pete Run Fest. Thank you for what you do for the city and for the runners. You give us a fun experience as well. And I know that's where you're based in the fun, and I hope people realize that running can be fun.
It can be. And Lee, thanks for having me on.
All right, we'll see y'all next Tuesday. Bye. Let's go.